Welcome back to the channel, everyone. James here from JVC Paints. Today I've got my Ancient Gallic Celtic Barbarian Army Showcase in 28mm for you all today. What I'm going to do, because there's quite a few guys here, there's about 280 guys, so and there's a lot of different units. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it into different sections, and I'll have timestamps below so you can hop around. But also in each section I'm going to have probably a link to the more detailed video of when I actually painted that unit. So if you want more detail how I painted or whatever, you can just go check that out. So, but let's get started. So we're going to start with the latest addition to the army itself. I mentioned in my last video for the Anvil unit that I had a command stand left to do, and that command stand is now finished, and I'll bring it out here. So this is the latest addition to the army. Let me put it front and center here. The figures I've used for it are from the Chariot set from Victrix, and I've just glued them here on a rock. In the back here, there's one other figure here. This unfortunate victim here is from the Victrix elephant set. One of the sort of the dudes who would be standing, I guess, in the compartment on the elephant. So this is the latest one. I'm going to take some snaps of this and some snaps of the other command stands I've done, and just talk about them. Manufacturers, how I painted them, things like that. Here's some shots of the figures, a little bit more clear, a little more close up. Did a little bit of detailing on these guys, just some bits and pieces, some blood and stuff like that. I didn't want to go too gory, but yeah, I love, when it comes to the Gauls, I love to have the decapitated heads on the command stands. It's just so cool, and I did it here, and also did the next ones here. These are also Victrix, and as you can see, there's got the same druid in there. But yeah, I've got the double decapitated heads in this one here. But it's a larger base, so it'd probably be maybe the general of the army base. Yeah, I went for just little bits and pieces to make it pop, some nice little details. This is the Ariovistus figure from a Warlord. So I have a German contingent in my sort of barbarian Gaul army of, my own invention. So yeah, I got Ariovistus. The pose is really reminiscent of Warhammer, and so I kind of Warhammered him up a little bit with the base and the pose. I just thought that's the best way to go. These figures here, we've got Vercingetorix on the left, and we've got the cavalry, mounted cavalry command on the right. There is also both Warlord figures. I can't rave enough about the Vercingetorix figure. It is totally amazing. I tried to copy it off the website, the paint job. The other guy, he's a bit of a rescue. I had a pack, a command, and they were kicking around, and I was able to scrounge a figure up, so I had that one. And he'd do well. Next up, let's take a look at some of the more mobile units for the army. We're going to take a look at the Cavalry and the Chariots. Here are the Chariots for the army. I have to say that this is the kit that really sold me on Victrix. It's kind of had me jump ship. I think looking Ancients more in their sandbox than Warlords. Just look at the detail on these guys. I've got a Druid, and this next one here coming up after the Druid. Instead of using a heavy armored warrior that came with the kit, I used one of the sort of naked guys, and that came out pretty well. And of course, they've got all the extra details. Love the decapitated heads. You've got two different drivers, and here the one with Queen Boudica. We've got the guy leaning forward, the driver. Great kit, can't rave enough about them. They are truly spectacular. This is the Victrix Gaullic Cavalry, another great kit. One small thing I'd say is that just their poses and things like that, it's kind of difficult to get everybody to line up kind of easily, but that's okay. They look great, as you can see. They look like a great mob of warriors. Went to town on the horses, giving them different kinds of horses, and some of the literature that I've been checking out talked about how well these men were at their horsemanship. So great little addition to my army, a great looking kit. Now we're going to take a look at the oldest part of the army. These are some of the Warlord minis from I think it's the Invasion of Britain, or the Conquest of Gaul. It was the Conquest of Gaul box set. Let's take a look at these minis. So this is where the whole madness started, was with these figures. These are from Warlord Games, from the box set, the first one. As you can see, I was learning how to do the different plaids and experimenting with the checkers and stuff like that. My eyes were a lot healthier, I think, when I started these, because the checks seemed smaller
and the little patterns that I've gone for were a little bit more intricate. As for the figures themselves, trying to put them on the bases was almost impossible, so I had to resize the bases. I still try to keep 4 to a base instead of just going 3, which is what I do now. But yeah, they were like a jigsaw puzzle trying to get everybody on there without the shields hitting and stuff like that. The sculpts aren't so bad. The helmets were pretty good, yeah, size-wise, these guys are a little bit smaller than the Victrix stuff, but they're still good. I like them. They're a backbone of my
Now we're
army.
going to take a look at the German contingent, who can be proxy Gauls if they need to be, or just proxy barbarians if I want to use them in some sort of Carthaginian Greek Sicily fight.
Apologies for there being no good photos of the skirmishers. This is the best one I had. I don't know what happened with the camera, but there's a video, so you can check that out. So here's the actual armored, sort of shielded mob 1, I guess you could say. The figures are exactly the same poses as the Victrix Gaullic Warriors, but the exception of that the heads are different. Some of the weapons are different. These guys have axes. And some smaller details here and there. The heavier guys are a bit different, but for the most part, they're the basic bodies of the Gallic warriors. The shields, yeah, same thing here with the shields. I free-handed them and, you know, tried different designs and things like that. Tried to make them look interesting and you know, battle ready, I guess you could say.
Let's wrap up the showcase here with the large anvil unit that I've recently completed. The heavy Gallic infantry from Victrix, as well as the skirmishers. Let's take a look at these.
Here's the new ginger dude part of the video. These are the Gallic skirmishers, I guess, berserkers, fanatics, Gallic fanatics. They're from Victrix. Great figures. Lots of cool poses. Of course, they're nude. You got to paint their willies and stuff like that. But you got the shields. Like, you tried to give them all helmets, give them some kind of protection out there. Yeah, they're a fun unit to do, and they came out pretty cool. I can't lie, I think they're cool. This is the heavy armor warriors. In retrospect, I kind of think I should have put more helmets on these guys. I'm looking, I see a lot of heads and stuff like that, but a lot of fun to do, very colorful. You know, the armor you can do pretty quick. They've got the cuirass, as you can see, and chainmail. Here's just a few of the stands that I've taken out of that unit. But yeah, they were a lot of fun to do. The Victrix stuff, I can't rave enough about it. You know, it's really good stuff. But yeah, just a few more guys here with the tartans, and then the unit itself, I think, is about 24 guys. It's a pretty heavy unit. And then this is the one that I've just finished here, the Anvil unit, the 54 figures in it, which is a mix of some of the heavy armor guys and just the regular warriors, and to fill it out as a very large mob. I got into these. They were the kind of the last Gauls I'm probably going to do for a while. So, you know, I went with a lot of the heads. I like the, you know, that kind of stuff. You know, the extra spears and things like that as well. But they're a great kit. I can't recommend them enough. Wonderful army. I hope to get them on a field someday, but I don't know. I got to find somebody else who has an army around the same size. As an addendum to the showcase video, here's a book that I was reading while I was working on the army. It's by Mr. Canstrielli. Apologies if I messed that up. Bought it on Amazon, Celtic Warfare. Pretty interesting book, some color plates. But, you know, just different periods, you know, different weapons, things like that. It really gave me a better feel for the army, I think. That's it for me this time, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I don't know what's coming up next. I do have some projects and things like that, but we'll see. Keep those rushes moving, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye, boy.